Hello guys, and in this tutorial I'm back to show you how to set up my strategy before I begin to enter bids or trade. So this video follows one of your comments. So I've recently received a comment from one of the viewers, and uh, he wanted me to do a video about how I make my setup before going to trade, even before understanding how it works. But first of all, how do I set it up? So in the first place, so in this video I'm just going to a very quick recap of how I set up my system strategy. Then in the next one I will be going over how to use the strategy to enter the trades. The trends, and make profits. So I think let's start off. Now this is the strategy in a disorganized form, because if it's organized, normally these ones are always in one line. So anyways, let me just put off everything, and then we put it back step by step. So I will be showing you how I organize this system step by step, and then we can proceed on how to use it. So first of all, let me first put off everything, and I take it back to where it began, because it normally starts. So we can go back to having our line. It normally comes as a line. Then also I better be removing the resistances, because we just want to start afresh. The flactor, so let me just remove this one too. So normally when you open your IQ chart in the morning, this is how it looks like. Assuming you've not you had not loaded any kind of any indicator, and you just starting afresh. So assuming that we're starting afresh, and number one on our strategy, we have the candlesticks. Instead of a line, we're going to replace it with candlesticks, but kind of the candlesticks I use are not the other usual candlesticks, but I normally use the hurricane candlesticks. So when you come over here on the chart type, you will see that we have lines, candlesticks, bars, and the hurricane ash candlesticks. So I normally use the hurricane ash candlesticks instead of these normal candlesticks that are the normal one that go on piling or adding onto each other. So I don't normally use these ones, though you can use if you want, no problem. It doesn't harm the strategy. You can use this, but I prefer using the hurricane ash. And inside the hurricane ash, because there's a way the hurricane ash shows a very good trend and a very good pattern of movement. So now that said, you go ahead and put the hurricane ash, and the color I use green for uptrend, and red for downtrend, or maroon, you can call it maroon. So you go ahead and click on this, choose any color you want, but I normally use green for uptrend and then red for downtrend. So Heiken chart normally has two types also. The one that has some spaces in between, and the one that is solid. So I normally go with the one that is solid, because it kind of looks better on my strategy. So you go ahead and choose the display, choose the colors, and I think that's all for the candlesticks. So now let's go ahead and apply them. After the candlesticks, you can go ahead and apply the flactor or the resistance indicator, or the flactor indicator. So the flactor indicator is actually part of our chart, so we just have to go and choose it. So next we are just going to be applying a fractal indicator or resistance indicator. So if you go back to this chart, we have to go ahead and go to indicators. If you don't have it in the already added indicators, like for example here I already have the fractal around here, so this is it here. You can just click on show and it shows up. But if you don't have it already in the added indicators, you can go ahead and go to popular. It should be around here, popular, down here, go to popular, then I scroll down a little bit, you will see it here. The fractal is a series of at least 5 Japanese candlesticks. So you can go ahead and read about it. Is always higher or lower than the surrounding ones. The main purpose of the fractal is to display local minima and maxima of the price curve and indicate market reversal points. So we are going to be using this fractal or to show points of resistance or points at which the markets or could be reversing to the opposite direction. So if you apply the moment you see it hovering over or showing at a certain point as the trend is moving, it shows that we could be having a reversal of the market at that point. So let's go ahead and click on it, and then it's going to be showing the periods. So the one I use, if you're operating in a kind of lower levels of 1 to 2 to 4 time intervals, you really may want to increase its period. But if you are operating in higher time intervals of about 8, 12, and probably 1 day and 1 week intervals, you may want to increase this to around its lowest, which is 3, because if you are in a higher intervals of 8, 12, a very small detection of a resistance might mean a very big bouncing back of a trend. And if probably that happens in higher intervals of 8 and 12, people who are operating under 2 1 hour in the intervals, they will be experiencing a very big change. So in other words, a very small change experienced in higher intervals of 8 and 12 would translate to a higher big change that will be experienced in lower level intervals of 1 to 2 hours. So now that I will be operating in 8 hours, I would want to put it at its lowest, which is lowest period, which is 3. So the color codes will remain the same. In this strategy, I use the default color codes of 8 for uptrend, and green for uptrend and red for downtrend. So I'm gonna be clicking on apply, and this will be applied to my strategy. So now that we've applied the fractal or resistance or an indicator that will show a possible change or a reversal of the market, now let's go ahead and see what comes next on the strategy. So next on the strategy, we have the awesome oscillators. We have awesome 136.14. So you just go back on our indicators and look for awesome oscillator. I already have it added in my indicators, but if you don't have it, you can go to popular or even momentum. You will find the awesome oscillator. So it's under the momentum, you will find the awesome oscillator, and this is what we are interested in, the awesome oscillator. So but remember, the first awesome oscillator we saw it at about 136 and I think 14. I shall revise that, don't worry. Let's first apply it in this then we shall go back and revise. So the first one is about 136.14. Yeah, exactly. So the first awesome oscillator is at 136.14. So make sure in your settings you have the slow period at 136 and the fast period at 14. So you apply. So this is the first awesome oscillator. So let's go to the next awesome oscillator. The next indicator is the also an awesome oscillator of about 64.7, so you can apply that too. So you head over here and go to your momentums and click on awesome oscillator, but this time we're applying 64 for a slow period and 7 for a fast period. So we are kind of reducing in this and also this to capture kind of the little bit slow period or the immediate changes in the trend. So we're going to be clicking on apply. So we are also going to be applying this indicator. So now we have two awesome oscillators. We're going to be applying the third one, which is 34.2. So now going back, almost we're doing the same thing. Go to momentum, awesome oscillator, 34.2. 34, probably this is the minimum, and it's minimum first period is 2, the maximum is 300, but we would want to have the very minimum to capture the very smallest or slightest changes in the market or in the trend. So now we have our first four indicators on the chart. Now let's go ahead and see what comes next. Now I'll have first organize this. The next indicator is Aron, but we'll be repeating Arons according to the settings. So we have Arons from the smallest period to around period 12. So the smallest period is 2. We're not beginning with 1 just because 1 would be a straight line, so we have to begin with Aron period 2. Now let me first arrange it on the strategy and how it appears. So we start with 2, and next is 3, would be 4, and the next will be 5, and next it would be 6, next would be 7, the next is 8, next would be 9, then 10, 11, probably 12. You can also add 12. So let me add this 17. We shall edit it into 12. So the last one will be 12. You can go ahead and add more, but the space doesn't allow us to do that. So we're going to be stopping at around 12 as per now. So now these arrows are intended to show the amount of effort, force or momentum that is coming to the market. So let's start with around 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. So let's go ahead on our chart where we're applying these. Click on indicators and go for arrows. Now we have two types of arrow. We have Aron momentum and we have Aron trend. We would have used Aron momentum, the one that is here. It's also good, but for these purposes of this strategy, I chose Aron trend for a reason that I will be explaining later on in the next video as we are learning how to use the system. So first of all, let's just first apply the way it is. So let's apply Aron trend instead of Aron momentum. So we're going to be using Aron trend. So go to trend and move up here. We will see Aron. So we shall be applying this Aron trend. Click on click a different one. Go trend and Aron. Yes, Aron momentum. Click on it and to be applying. Now for the period, just like we said, we shall be starting from period 2 and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, just like that until we reach period 12. So for those are the basic settings. Period 2, then the color change, the color and display. We're going to be using Aron up. For Aron up, we are using green, and for Aron down, using red or maroon, whatever you can call it. We're going to be also increasing its thickness so that we can see it very well, and we don't have to deal with anything like a script. Let's just leave the script the way it is by default. So after changing our color codes for up and down trends, let's go ahead and click on apply. So you apply the first Aron 2 already applied. You can just see it here, or the moment it's crossed, this is the change that is happening in the trend. market is kind of the price in the market is moving down or it's falling. So this indicator was the first one to see that happening. So that's why we kind of want to start from the lowest periods, because we want to tap the slightest change in the market and you know where exactly it's going. So you can go ahead and repeat the procedure as you add in, as you add more arrows. So we go ahead and add arrow 3. Go to your color codes, just do the same. Arrow up, arrow down for red. Increase in the thickness to the biggest. Leave the script the way it is and click on apply. So we'll be having also arrow 3 being applied. Then you can go ahead and repeat the same procedure for arrow 4. So essentially you're going to repeat this for about 12 times, and those are the from arrow 2 to arrow 12 simultaneously without skipping any. So arrow up green, arrow down red, change the thickness and apply. So now that I already have the arrows in my list of indicators, I'm just going to be clicking on them to show up. If you don't have, just follow the same procedure. Add the arrows from arrow 2 up to arrow 12, and after that we shall be done with our system, and we shall proceed next to see what would be coming next. That would be explaining how the strategy couples it up and shows how and predicts where and how the market will be moving, and so we can know where exactly to bid, whether we're bidding for a downtrend or uptrend. It will come later in the next video. So as for now, let me first add all the arrows. I've already added arrow 2, arrow 3 and arrow 4. Let me just add arrow 5 as fast as possible. I have my arrow 5 here, arrow 6 here, arrow 7 here, arrow 8 somewhere here, arrow 9 here, and arrow 10 here. You can also add arrow 12 or 11, whatever the case. I also have arrow 18. So 18 kind of, you can just add if you want, but you can make it 14 or 12. Go ahead and click on apply. So we have our arrows here ready, and we have our awesome oscillators ready, and the whole system is full. So you can go ahead and kind of see what exactly we're talking about. But anyways, now the system is full. In the next video we'll be talking about how to use the system. Okay guys, now don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because you might want to know how this system is being used, and for that condition or for that reason, please subscribe to the channel. You can like the video if you want. If you like the video, just click on the like button, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Probably tomorrow morning I'll be making another video. Probably it will be the real gist or the real deal for this strategy, how to use it and how you should be using, which time intervals to use, and how to enter the trends and how to close in profits in that trend. So that will be coming later on in the next video. So please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next videos. Thank you.